Good morning. We are joined by head gymnastics coach Jason Butts and senior associate head coach Travis Doak this morning. Jason, if you just want to start us off with an opening statement to just kind of preview the big weekend of meets at Arkansas and then at Pitt on Sunday, then we can go ahead and start with some questions.
Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to getting on the road. We just came back from Iowa State and had some highlights there, definitely. But we've been working hard to improve since we came back, just on consistency and making sure that, we're ready to go in. We almost put that whole meet together at Iowa State. And so the goal this weekend, obviously, at Arkansas is going to be to put it together 24 for 24, get a great road score. Being down in the SEC and then coming back and going up against, of course, our big rival Pitt up there in Pittsburgh and on Sunday afternoon. And we would love to have two great road scores and, come off hitting, 48 routines, for the weekend. So that's going to be the goal.
So obviously you speak on hitting 24 for 24, and that's always a goal. Haven't been able to do that yet. What has to happen for, obviously we know, stay on the apparatus, all those kind of things, but what kind of has to happen mentally and physically for the athletes to kind of hit that 24 for 24 goal? Either one of you can.
Yeah, no, they have to basically just do what they do every day in practice. It's consistency is the key in training. And when we get to the meet, we know as coaches, they know as athletes that they are physically and mentally ready to go. It's just in that heat of the moment, making sure that they, get rid of all distractions and just get laser focused in on doing basically the basics, for lack of a better word, of gymnastics, and making sure that they're using, all the little mental checkpoints and everything that we tell them every day in practice. Skill for skill, there's nothing that they're attempting to do that they haven't already done hundreds, if not thousands of times. And so to put it all together, we just have to get the momentum going. That hitting routines is a little bit contagious. Maybe that's a bad word to use during COVID times, but it seems like it just, once you get on a roll with them, it keeps going. And so that's what we got to do this weekend.
Travis, any thoughts on that from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's, we're so lucky because we do have some depth, like a lot of programs coming off, starting off with the setback with COVID. It takes some time to get everybody back at full swing to see, where our strongest lineups are going to be. And so I still think we're working on finding that. We had some really strong contributors that, we saw last season that are just now starting to make their way back into lineups that maybe haven't got to showcase all they can to offer yet. And so a big part of our job is that management piece, right? Making sure that, we keep everybody healthy and keep them there in the long run. And, we still haven't put, I think, the strongest team we can out there yet. And, we're getting there slowly but surely. But I thought last weekend was a good step in the right direction, despite a glitch. I still think that some of the performances are even stronger than last year, which is where you want to be, right?
Yeah, switch it to speaker view. Sorry. So yeah, speaking on that, obviously, still looking to get, like Jason mentioned, get a good road score this weekend. And you have two opportunities to do it. Kind of here in a big stretch of some tough opponents. We had Denver at home and then go to Iowa State, and then now we're at Arkansas. Lots of three big programs. What is the mentality going into not only, obviously, we had Denver at home, but not only some tough opponents, but having to do it on the road and kind of back to back. What's the kind of perspective or the mentality that has to go in to still hit those routines in a tough gauntlet of opponents?
I tell the team all the time, on 3 events, we have the same number of 10-0 start values as every other team. And so it comes down to execution at that point and how many deductions that we can eliminate and, just how close to perfect can we get, if not be perfect. Vault is a little bit of a different scenario just with the different start values, but even there, the scores are a half a tenth to a tenth difference. Landings, make all the difference. We did much better on our vault landings at Iowa State. So going into these meets, assuming that we can go, event for event, routine for routine against these teams, regardless of where they're ranked, we're always excited to hit the road. We're very proud of just kind of the attitude that we have coming in, wanting to have fun and have fun with gymnastics and show everybody what West Virginia can do. And then really just focusing on this is a great opportunity for us to get those road scores, which count a little bit heavier into our final ranking as we go into regionals. And as far as 2 in 1 weekend, for the post championships now, you have to be ready to do that every round. The first 3 rounds happen over the course of 1 weekend. And then at the national championships, it's back-to-back rounds. So it's something that we have to train for and get used to doing, as we get closer to postseason. So excited for that opportunity as well.
Travis, any thoughts on that?
When I hear that, when we go to other teams, I always think the same thing I tell recruits when they come in. West Virginia is a great program. It's a great university. It's a strong program. And so I think sometimes, our goal as coaches is to make sure that nobody sells themselves short. So I like to get out there and make sure that we compete with a sense of pride, because I do think we have a strong program. We have a strong foundation. And that's what we've got to believe in.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, since you mentioned vault landings, I just want to ask about Abby's vault on Friday at Iowa State. Obviously, we'd seen her do that. I don't remember if that was over the summer or when that was that she landed that at her club gym, I think. But obviously first time here at college in competition. Talk about kind of the build up to that and kind of working that skill, and then not only landing it in competition, but sticking it and getting a career high in competition.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Abby is such a hard worker, and she trains that vault pretty consistently. As far as getting it from her club gym into Carey gym and then onto the competition floor, we always want to make sure that they're safe. And a big part of that is, making sure that they're confident. It's something we saw at this past summer with Simone Biles in the Olympics. I think we're all familiar now with what happens when a gymnast isn't quite 100% confident on something. It kind of opens the door up for a possible injury. So we have just been making sure that she is consistent in the gym. She had a great warm up at Iowa State. Her mentality going into the competition was great, and I was so proud of her. And I think it showed her that she is definitely a national caliber vaulter. We've always known as her coaches that it's in there. And she has really bought into that for this year, and has been training to make it happen. And it was really exciting. So we just got to get that final little just extra stickiness on the bottom of her feet so she doesn't move at all. And maybe we can get a 10, because she came pretty darn close.
Yeah, that would be exciting. And then just one more, either of you can weigh in on this. Obviously, we've seen some freshmen pop into some lineups so far this year. And then Bryn had her first, made her debut on Friday. Just talk about how the freshmen have made an impact since they've been on campus this year.
Yeah, Travis, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, the nice thing about this freshman class is, we definitely haven't seen all that they have to offer. And I think a lot of coaches across the country will tell you freshman year is tough. You're going from a whole, 18 years, and then all of a sudden we come into a new environment, right? And I think this group is doing fantastic. You're going to start to see the freshmen insert themselves more as the year goes on. Their training is starting to really take a turn because, it's a different level of training. There's pressure every day to prove it to yourself and your teammates. And I think they're starting to get that. So I think we're going to start to see them more in the lineups, but we know we didn't graduate a ton of routines. So there wasn't a ton of just open door spots for them to slide into. So they're having to work really hard. Which hopefully, as time goes on, that work ethic will kind of make the program stronger as we go. But I do think they're doing a good job. They all have their individual strengths that can help the program. Our job just kind of comes on making sure that we're the best managers we can be to get them their confidence up and into those spots successfully.